Hello, it is Diane with Diane's Blue Hearts and Butterflies.com, and I did a make and take class recently, and I wanted to feature several different fun folds and designs that I had seen recently on out on the internet that all dealt with diagonals, and so this is one of them. It's the Pretty Fan card. It was inspired by Patty Dolan that I had seen it from, and I created this using some current product and retired product for this make and take. So over on my blog at Diane's Blue Hearts and Butterflies.com, I do have all these measurements and some diagrams that are saved, and so once I get everything uploaded, I'll link the this video to that blog post. So I will kind of go over some of what I used. So the Gorgeous Grape cardstock is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a front white layer that is 4 by 5 1/4. I have an inside white layer that is 4 by 5 1/4, so it's the same. And then I have a piece of Designer Series paper that is 3 3/4 by 5. And then there are some other pieces that you can cut for the wide fan and narrow fan. And again, all these measurements are over there. It starts out with a kind of rectangular piece, and then you cut it in half diagonally, and you'll end up being able to have enough stuff to make 2 cards. So the Gorgeous Grape cardstock for the narrow fan starts out as 1.5 by 5.5, and you cut that diagonally. And then the white triangle is cut from a 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. You cut again in a diagonal from the top right to the bottom left. And then a piece of Designer Series paper that is 1 inch by 5 inch, and again cut that in that diagonal. So on the wide fan, you're going to use a piece that you cut off of your front of your card base for the Gorgeous Grape cardstock. The white triangle starts out as a 2 1/4 by 5 1/8, and again you cut that diagonally from the one corner. This one was the top right to the bottom left. And then another piece of Designer Series paper. This one is cut from the top left to the bottom right. That's what, because the piece that we're cutting off. So again, there's another Designer Series paper for the wide fan that is 1 7/8 by 4 7/8, and it's from the top left to the bottom right corner. So this one is opposite of the other. So I also used Color and Contour, which is a retired set, I believe. Tasteful Labels. I used that for cutting this label shape that I used for my sentiment. And then I took a fern piece, I don't know what to call it, out of Forever Flourishing. And then I used some iridescent pearls that I had for this card. So I'm going to set some of these things off to the side so we can go through how to actually make the cuts on these others for the front of the card. So on the card front, you're going to measure and mark with a pencil from the top right edge. You're going to measure over 2.5 inches and make a mark at that edge. And then I just drew it on there for my class so that they could see in what way to cut it. But since we are ready to do this, what you'll do is you'll line up that mark in your trimmer track and go to the lower bottom right corner from that mark, and you'll just cut that piece off. And then you'll want to have an eraser to cut out, erase any of your marks so that they don't bother you. And then again, this is the piece that you're going to use to make your large fan that's going to go across the front of the card. So then your card base will look like this. So your front white piece, you're going to measure over again at that 2.5 inch and make a mark, and then cut again diagonally to get that. This piece you can just put in your scraps and be able to use it for another project. And again, get rid of your little pencil marks. And then the designer series paper, again, it's 2.5 from the top right. Make your little mark and then cut it diagonally to that bottom corner. And that piece will also just be going into your scraps. I'm just getting rid of my pencil mark that I drew on there, making sure that those are off. So I'm going to move this trimmer over. So on this, you'll go ahead and adhere all of your layers together. I'm using Seal Plus adhesive, and I'm just getting all of those edges so that they will hold. Layer that onto the white piece with kind of the same border all the way around, and then you'll layer that onto your card front. And since I'm going to be kind of adhering some things to the middle part, I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive there too, and then just kind of line that up. I'm going to go ahead and adhere the one that goes on the inside of the card. You can stamp a message if you want to the inside of this where it won't be seen. Oh, I meant to share a tip with that. I was watching Sharon, I think her last name's Armstrong, and she showed a kind of a tip that you can use your hot breath to remove pieces that are stuck on where you want to, they're wrong and you want to remove them. That you just use your hot breath and get up out of there, and as you do that, it will peel away. And I tried it and it worked. So on this one, I did take one of the pieces that I cut off. Instead of using it as a scrap, you could put it on the inside of the card, and then you could put a message, or you could maybe want to put a message there. I'm just going to set it off to the side for now. But you're going to want to make sure that all of your pieces are lining up the same direction, and that you're adhering the glue to the correct side for putting these layers together for your fan. This one is the large fan piece, and my glue is a little bit wide, so I'm just folding that over. Adhere that to the white. And I usually try to hold that up with my fingers underneath it till I get the border about how I want it, and then stick that down. And then do the white layer onto the grape cardstock layer. Again, my glue is a little bit wide, so I'm just folding that over. And then I will adhere this one. Down here. Then you'll do your narrow fan pieces. If you want to, you could use the white glue as well. It's also good if you are using some kind of an adhesive runner. You could put your silicone craft sheet underneath this so that if the glue does go over, it'll actually come off of that silicone craft sheet and won't get stuck to anything, any paper or whatever you might have on your desktop. And again, I'm going to line that up, making sure that all my glue is folded under. A little bit of extra over here, so I'm just kind of all right. I know that I'm kind of going fast. I have a few other cards that I'm making videos for tonight, and I'll get those all uploaded and posted to my blog to be seen, so you can check out the website, the blog at dianesblueheartsandbutterflies.com. If there's any, the one thing about this is you can use these dimensions and ideas with any stamps and paper and anything that you may have, or anything that's new in the current catalog. I'm going to stick a little, oh, I have a little bit too much. I was afraid of that. I don't use the white glue too much because I always end up using too much. It just kind of oozes out on me. So I'll leave that open over there. All right, so what I did was that, and you can line it up so that it goes this way or this way, however you want to do that, as far as when you're putting your layers together. If you're going this way, you just want to make sure, and I think I did this backwards because it was supposed to be the other side. Well, let's try that one idea that she shared. And you just use your hot breath and it does peel off. And then I'm not sure how quick this is going to come off. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break, just a moment, pause. Okay, sorry about that. I went ahead and redid this one from another kit that I had. So it needs to line up, so it does need to cut from the, so this one is cut off here, and then the other one you cut from the top right to the bottom left, and on all of these fan, the large and the small fan pieces. So then you're going to want to line it up so that this bottom part goes down to this corner and these pieces are over here. If you wish, you can put a mark and put so that you'll know where to put the glue, or you just kind of put your fingers there to know where not to put any glue, and then you could adhere. I'm just going to use up this that was running over. It's way too much glue. And then you just want to stick that so that it goes up here, but so that it does not stick over on either one, the top or the side. And then you just kind of hold that down. And then you're going to do the same thing with this one kind of in the middle. But you'll want to move it out a little bit so that it goes to the top and the side as well, and it kind of creates that pretty little fan. This one is just not needing a lot at the top. I'm just going to put a little bit more glue along there, line that up so that it doesn't go off the top and the side, but that it comes down here. And then you can either use glue dots or some liquid glue, or you could put the double-sided adhesive on the back of your leaf, your foliage, whatever you want to put on here. There are some great current dyes that are available that you could use. I was just using what I had on hand for this class because I was really wanting more of a techniques class than anything, but people can purchase whatever products they like. I was just more sticking with the techniques. And so I adhered this down here across that bottom, and then I used dimensionals on the back of the label to adhere the sentiment. And I put that down here. And then don't forget to stamp your envelope, which is what I did here, and to add your little gems, and you could add those as you wish. Generally the rule of thumb is an odd number, so 3, 5, 7, something like that. And I'm just moving those there. So this is the quick and easy pretty fan card, and I appreciate Patty Dolan for sharing that with us. So please check out my blog post, and if you don't have a demonstrator, I would love if you would shop with me. I appreciate you coming and viewing my channel, and I hope that you have fun with this technique. Thank you.